G'day folks, back out in the shop. We are going to get started here on this Fourtrax, the Honda Fourtrax. I believe this is an 08 or an 09. I last worked on this 2 years ago. Customer brought it in, the battery terminals were loose, it wasn't starting. Cleaned up the battery terminals, put a new solenoid in it and a new starter, and it ran perfectly for the last 2 years. It comes back today. Apparently he's been jumping the solenoid for a while, so it either the solenoid's acted up again or maybe the switch on the handlebar or something. But we're going to dig into this and see if we can't diagnose this no start issue. Well, it starts, but you got to jump solenoid, and that's never a good thing. Most likely just a solenoid, but we'll see. Anyways, let's get at it. First thing, obviously, turn the key on and you're looking for your neutral light. If your neutral light's not on, then you have an issue probably with your gear shift's not in the right position. That would be the first thing. Make sure you're in neutral. You got your light. If your light's working, your neutral safety switch is most likely working, but that's not a guarantee. Next thing, of course, power's got to be on to the ignition system for the starter to work. I can just barely hear the click. Really, really light. Nowhere near what I need. Yeah, again, like I said, last time these were so loose I could move them. Tight. There's our solenoid right there. This bar is always a pain on these. Okay, first thing we got here is there's our plug for the solenoid. It's mounted on this back wall just underneath here. If you reach into the cargo area, you can squeeze this and just unplug it. Now it's out where you can work on it. In here is a little tab you got to pull out, not in. I mean, most of them you push. This one you pull out, and just like that. All right, that's the solenoid side. This is the vehicle side. This is where we want to put our test light. Got our test light to ground. Okay, test light to positive. We have power going to the solenoid. Next thing we're going to check is the ground side. Reverse our test light lead and put that on the positive terminal. Now we're going to probe the white and black wire. Okay, so we have a ground. So we got power going to the solenoid. So everything right now is leading to a bad solenoid, but let's test it. All right, we got the solenoid off. It's plugged in. When you press a button, you can hear that solenoid is good and loud now. Yeah, now it's quiet again. You know, folks, times are changing. When I was a young lad, if you wanted to fix a car, you had to buy a shop manual. I have hundreds of those things. Some of them were over $100, and that was like 20, 30 years ago. Nowadays, you can get everything you want online, but some of the information out there isn't always the most accurate and probably stuff you shouldn't be listening to. If you're working on cars and you're serious about it, you need a shop manual. Right? You never know when you're going to want to work on a 82 Bronco. Digital manuals are the way to go. E-manual online is the one I choose. They got over 2.5 million manuals online, and they're available for download. So once you buy the manual, you can download it. It's yours forever. It doesn't take up any space. You can fit every manual I got on a flash drive. These manuals are the same as like the old Chilton's manuals or the Haynes manuals, which are pretty much the go-to for most DIY guys. Yeah, I worked on a lot of Chevy trucks, so this was a no-brainer for me. This is the 88 to 2002, which is what I work on a lot of, but they have all kinds. This is a 1,300-page manual. All right, here's a good one. There's a Hydromatic 4L60E transmission. How many website forums you know are going to have the fluid path flows through a transmission available for you? Okay, so there's your 3-2 downshift paths of flow. There's your second gear path of flow. First gear. I mean, I don't even think that kind of thing was in the old Chilton's manuals back in the day. Their manuals cover a whole wide range of things, from tractors to four-wheelers and side-by-sides and cars, trucks, you name it, they've probably got a manual for it. Like I said, they have 2.5 million manuals available on their website. And because I love my viewers, and I know you guys love your cars, if you're going to buy something, use the code SCHNEB22. That'll get you 22% off. Can't go wrong there, folks. Get rid of that old pile of books. Oh, heading out to the shop. We got us a big storm coming tonight, and I got a sled and a four-wheeler I want to get out of here. Hopefully before they get snowed in. Yeah, they've been in here since last night, and they still got snow on them, so you know it's cold out here. We got our new solenoid in the mail. Problem is, and that's the old one, has a plug. Obviously, I don't want to hack into the main wiring harness when I can just cut this off and splice it onto the end of the other one. So that's what we're going to do. There's how I do my splices. That should be a pretty good connection. Now I'll just get this other one done. So for now, I just got it all jammed back in here loosely. So it's not obviously tucked in where it needs to go. I just want to check the wiring before we put it all back together. Alright, let's see if that worked. That's all loosely on. We're in neutral. Power on. I love fuel injection machines. They just fire right up. Well, I know that this switch up here is faulty. He wants me to change this entire control, so we're going to put that on. But the solenoid is now working from the button. I guess he's saying this button is intermittent, and the kill, if you wiggle it, you can actually hear the bike shutting on and off. So there's definitely something in the actual kill switch that's gone. So we're going to change all that. Going to get this put back in properly instead of just sitting on top of the battery the way we have it. Well, we're working on replacing this guy. You can see the replacement we've got. It's identical in every way that I can tell. Just got that off of here, and I got the brake switch terminals off. They kind of wrap around underneath. So we got our new one on the handlebar now, and we have our wires here put onto the brake switch for the lever. Okay, some of them are going to end up down under here. You can see this harness, half goes up and then the other half goes down. So we got to get under the console to get these things off. Those are the two nuts you need to take off to get the console up and away from the handlebars where you can get at the wiring. There's a bunch of other nuts up inside there that people will try to get, but those are not, like that one back there. That is not the right one. One nut, put that in my pocket so I don't lose it in the snow. And as promised, just gotta pull it up off the studs now. Get the head unit off. Okay, so those two bolts, and now you can do anything you want with your head unit. You can see there's where they go on the steel bar. Here. Let's sit in the snow-covered seat. These are a particular pain in the keister. There we go. That took longer than it needed to. Just got finished putting the switch back in, run the wire back over through all the zip ties and closures. You got your 4 plugs over here on the brake. You got 2 over here on this brake, under right there. Nothing to those. They just for the brake lights. Okay, so there's your plug for the controller. That's the hardest part, is I swear, is to get that thing out, because it's attached in here. I haven't got it attached yet, but you got to unplug it from down below, more or less. You can see the little push clip, but you got to pull it out from the bottom, and you can't get your hands in there. So I had to undo it, and you can reach in from in here and get at it, because you can't get your hand in here. Not with the rad, it's in the way. So that's just a little cover that goes on there. Your 2 nuts are going to go back on now, here, and they just go through that part. Let's get that all buttoned up. So there's a little trick for you. If you don't want to drop the nut down underneath there and lose it forever, put some grease in your socket. It acts like kind of temporary glue, and it'll hold it in place. All right, let's see if it all works. Neutral, yep. Switch on. Okay, so we got a whole bunch of busted plastic here, as you can see. We're gonna do some plastic staples here. All you gotta do is kind of get your plastic where you need it, which can oftentimes be the hardest part. Get it in place. Like so. Let it cool a second, just like so. You could also do it from underneath if you're worried about the looks, but it's a pretty groovy way to fix plastic, and it's a heck of a lot better than just going at it with the old soldering iron the way I've done it a lot of times in the past. So I put them about 1 inch apart, just because this is a spot that's going to crack. I mean, it's under the wheel, it gets hit with a lot of debris. I don't want it cracking again. Okay, so I'm going to just go ahead and slam a whole pile of these in here, and I'll show you the results when I'm finished. Okay, so there's my stitching job. You can wiggle that pretty good, and it doesn't come apart like it was. There's a lot of tension in this area because it's a triple crack, and it's wanting to push up because of the way this got hit. So let's just cut all those ends off so nobody tears themselves to pieces getting on there. I just cut off all the little ends, but the side cutters they give you only get so close, so there's still probably a 1/16 of an inch of them sticking up, and especially here, that'll definitely cut you. So we're going to take a flap wheel and just hit them real quick. This one now is starting off the switch the way it's supposed to, so the big thing there was a solenoid, but this ignition switch was also kind of wonky, so we changed out the whole control unit, ran the wire back in, leave the cable tie there, I don't like the way that's sticking out, but anyway, not a big job, just fighting with that plug down there was a bit of a pain. Just a little bit of what I've been doing for the last few days. Like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.